When Beyonce tells you to get information and get Scar, you get information. Okay, before I start this review, if you have not watched Lion King in your life, just go to another video. I don't want to hear nothing about spoilers. This movie has been out since 1994. Everyone knows what happens. But if somehow you do not see this movie, please do not comment about spoilers in this video. What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Beauty. As promised, I am back with my review of the Lion King live action film. So let me just start by saying that I thought I was ready because I did see the cartoon version. However, I did cry. Literally, I thought I was only gonna cry when Mufasa died. But no, I literally cried during the first song. I don't know what it was, it was just like, I guess that anticipation of waiting to see how close the live action would be to the cartoon. I will say, it was spot on. I really do believe, like, scene for scene, everything was pretty much the same. They looked a little bit more real, but I will say it still looked like a cartoon, I'm not gonna lie. When we talk about other live action films like Happy Feet, right? It seems as though those seemed more realistic to me. They look like real penguins, and they actually used real penguins to help them with the movie somehow. I remember they said that, right? But this one, I would really be interested to see how they made the movie. Did they actually go to the zoo like the first movie, or to the safari and really use these lions to kind of study how they move? I was surprised we didn't hear Elton John's version of Circle of Life. I guess it comes with the territory. Maybe it's on the soundtrack. The opening scene was great. The part that really gets me the most is when, of course, Rafiki is doing that whole ceremony with Simba and he raises him up. And of course, Simba irked my soul because he got his father killed, as we knew would happen from the cartoon. You can say what you want, but Simba was just a little knucklehead that needed to get a couple more whoopings, and he was just spoiled. He caused Mufasa's death, and I must say that Mufasa's death was as heart-wrenching, if not more so, than it was in the cartoon. I had to go through that again, and I cried again. I wasn't really sure if this audience that I was with, in terms of the kids, had seen the cartoon before, but they all were very quiet. The whole theater was quiet when Mufasa died. And Scar, oh my god, when you talk about a villain, now that was a villain. Scar is probably one of the only Disney villains that I just can't relate to. You know what? I can't really think of too many good Disney villains that I identify with, actually. But there's some movies that you see, probably like in the Avengers I'm thinking of, or like other Marvel movies, where you can actually say, okay, I see what his point is. But no, Scar is just downright evil. Like, you kill your brother, you blackmail your nephew into thinking that he killed his father, and then on top of that, you tell the hyenas to go kill him after that. And then you want to be with your brother's wife. Bruh. I did like the voices that they chose for Simba and for Nala, the young ones. They could really sing. When I first saw Timon and Pumbaa, I really didn't think that Pumbaa could sing that well. A little bit of his solo was a little bit shaky, but when he and Timon came back together, they were good. I was so glad that James Earl Jones came back for his part of Mufasa, because really, who else could have played his part? No one. Zazu's voice was pretty spot on as well. Although I do wish that there were a little bit of more differences from the original, because it was basically like watching the original but more live action and still kind of cartoonish, if that makes any sense. I wanted more music. I don't know, it felt like there was not too many singing parts, and they played it on the ABC recently. And it seems like right after Nala comes back and tells Simba, okay, it's time to go back home, everything just happened so fast, and all of a sudden we're at the battle with Simba and Scar, and I kind of wish there was more of a build-up. I am glad that, Scar eventually gets found out for killing his brother. He just stuck true to showing Simba and Nala's baby at the end. I will say that it's kind of sad that James Earl Jones isn't really being praised as much as Beyonce. Now, don't get me wrong, I am such a Beyonce fan, and I'm really happy that she did the voice, which A lot of people were trying to come at her and say, oh, she's got a southern voice and shows she's not going to be a good voice actress for this character, but she really did well, because if you watch the first movie, Nala did have a deeper voice. Beyonce has that range, and of course she had to add those vocal chops. She did well. Simba, a lot of memes going on about how like Donald Glover, his voice was too small for Simba. Like they were saying like he's too big to be sounding that small, which yeah, I think his voice during the singing parts could have been a little bit more boisterous, but think about it. I think it kind of went along with the character as well, because he's been taken out of his element of being the predator and he's been just living that Hakuna Matata life. And there's a part where Antelope thinks he's about to pounce on him and he's actually going for butterflies. So it kind of fit the part that he had a more mellow voice. He snapped right back into action when he saw Scar trying to get his mom. Okay, I will say that this movie, probably your reaction to it will vary based on what audience you're with and what time of the day that you go. Because I went today, being a Sunday, 2 days after the premiere, in the afternoon around 1:30, and the crowd was very mellow. I saw memes last year talking about, oh, in the audience we're gonna have a soprano section, alto, bass, tenor, all of us are gonna be singing all the songs. Nope, nah. I was singing, looking around, everyone's like, no, don't do it, girl. Come on, it's a circle of life. You guys aren't gonna sing? I was literally the only one singing along. Yeah, I think if you go with a more lit audience, you'll have a better time. I still enjoyed it for what it was. I just wish there were more songs, and I wish they had incorporated more of the songs from Beyonce's new album, actually, because those were really nice. But I think they wanted to stay exactly true to the movie because it's one of Disney's most memorable films, and they knew that us 90s babies would probably be a little bit concerned if it strayed too far from the original, but I don't think that it would have been bad if they had done so a little bit more, especially since they did take some liberties of changing some of the dialogue between the characters. For example, with Timon and Pumbaa, they made a couple more recent lingo changes. It was more with the time. I think they could have done a little bit more. Overall, I would say I rate it a 9.5 out of 10, only because I still wanted a little bit something different than just going and watching straight up what happened in the cartoon as a live action, if that makes sense. And I really don't know what they could have done differently. Maybe added more music, maybe added some different scenes, or something more to build up to the final battle. Just wish I had seen a little bit more discrepancies between the original and this new one. And since they ended this one the same way they ended the previous film from the 90s, I wonder if they're going to make a sequel live action film as well. Beyonce, I could tell that she held back on as many runs as she wanted to, because we know she is a machine when it comes to doing runs, and I could tell she was kind of trying to play it cool, because it's just like that typical choir thing, how you have to just sing flat without any runs whatsoever. Yeah, I could tell she was holding back because, you know, she can go all out. And oh my gosh, I love when they played the song Spirit in the movie when Simba decided to go back home. That was totally fitting. Timon and Pumbaa still stole the show, but I saw on Twitter that there was a scene missing. I can't remember from the original because it's been so long, but apparently there was a scene that they did not include for Timon and Pumbaa. To me, it really didn't make a difference. Comment below, let me know if you guys have seen it. What was your favorite part? Do you think that the CGI was good, up to your liking? And what do you think about this new wave of live action films that Disney's rolling out? Do you think it's a smart business move, or do you think that it's because they're running out of ideas for new content? Until next time, deuces.